Hello ladies and gentlemen, Holotide here, and today I want to talk about each runner in Marathon. I did a video covering each faction, and that was super well received, so I figured I might as well do this one as well. In this video, we're going to talk about the class and model system that they're using, as well as build crafting with cores and implants and weapon mods, and the runners themselves, and what type of person would gravitate towards that type of runner with their playstyle. But before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed it, if you learned anything. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy Marathon content. I will be playing the server slam as well as when the game actually comes out, making videos. I have a lot of plans, a lot of different video ideas already written down, so I'm super excited. It's been a couple years since I've been able to make something that's like different than just news videos and stuff like that. So like I said, make sure you sub, make sure you leave a like down below. And in the comments, let me know which runner you're gonna pick. So over the last few months, we've gotten a lot of information, both from Bungie and from the playtests, about each runner. But during the delay of the game, they seem to have renamed what the runners are. But then that was later clarified that each runner now has a class and a model. The class is the role, the model is essentially the specific variant of that runner. So far, the named ones are Destroyer's model is Locus, Vandal's is Glitch, Recon's is Blackbird, Assassin's is Void, and Thief's is Icon. Triage and Rook have models too, but I'm not sure those have actually been confirmed yet. I know that there was a name for Triage a long time ago, but I don't think I think it's under NDA. But I think this kind of opens it up for like a different model for Destroyer in the future. I think that's maybe how they're gonna go about it, and then like maybe a large update would have a new class, but that remains to be seen. And for those who don't know, in Marathon, you pick a class, a runner, and each runner will play completely different. But before we talk about the actual runners themselves, there's a whole build crafting layer on top of that I want to mention up front, because it really will change how you approach every character in the game. So in build crafting, there are three main pieces: cores, implants, and weapon mods. Cores, in my opinion, are the big ones. Each runner has their own set of cores, and you can equip 2 at a time. They're not passive number buffs, but they actually will change and shift how you play. Vandal has one called Blast Off. Normally, knockback from explosions hurt you, but with that core, it just launches you instead. That's a playstyle change, not a stat change. Implants work across any runner, so you're not really locked in. They give you stats plus a random perk, and the highest tier ones also guarantee a bonus perk on top of that. There's one called Graceful Landings V5. You take a long fall and deal damage to anyone nearby when you land. So if you pair that with Vandal's Blast Off core, suddenly you've got someone who's just launching themselves off things on purpose and using the landing as a weapon. That's the kind of thing Marathon is trying to do. It's not just handing you a build, but it will give you pieces that fit together in an interesting way. All right, let's get into the actual runners. For Destroyer, this one is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a combat specialist, aggressive, gets in fast and stays in. The armor is a modified Mjolnir set, so if you know, you know, and the whole kit is built around sustained pressure. The prime ability is Search and Destroy. Shoulder-mounted missile pods activate, and if you keep dealing damage, they start firing homing missiles that also overheat targets. So the longer you stay in a fight, the more the kit rewards you. The tactical is Riot Barricade, and that's a shield that blocks incoming damage, but it will also drain your ability energy over time. So it's not necessarily a crutch, it's a tool. You use it when you need it, and then you move. The two traits worth knowing are Thruster and Tac Sprint. Thruster gives you a boost in the direction you're moving while you're airborne, and Tactical Sprint gives you a faster sprint mode at the cost of generating more heat. The heat system runs through a lot of this game's movement, so these type of trade-offs do matter. If you're the kind of player who hates waiting, who gets bored just holding angles and would rather be the one just kicking the door in, I think Destroyer is probably going to be your home. It rewards aggression directly. The longer you commit to a fight, the more the kit opens up. There's not really an escape button here. I guess you could argue that maybe Thruster is, but really I see Thruster used in a way that's to give you a leg up when you're fighting. like in a 1v1. It reminds me of like a Halo 5 thruster. Not something to evade, but something to use to get the other player to miss a shot and for you to take advantage of that. I think that players who come from games where they always gravitate towards a frontliner are going to click with this one immediately. Some people just want to push in and let their missiles handle the rest. I personally am excited to try out Destroyer more and more. Just for the vibes alone, man. The Mjolnir armor, you know I'm a fan. Next up we have Assassin, and this is the complete opposite energy of Destroyer. It's slow, it's quiet, it's got smokes and invisibility. So let's start off there. The Smokescreen Tactical throws a disc that creates a whole line of smoke fields, which feeds directly into the passive trait Shroud, so you step into any smoke and you automatically go invisible. The invisibility also will persist for a bit after you leave, so you're not just hiding, you're actively using smoke as infrastructure. The active camo ability lets you go invisible manually, but it's not a free pass. Shooting, getting shot, healing, using abilities, any of that reveals you briefly, and moving fast makes you more visible, so it's not just I'm pressing a button and I'm disappearing. It's really a tool that you have to use carefully. The Shadow Dive trait, in my opinion, is also very clever. While you're airborne, you slam a smoke disc into the ground and deploy a field. It also negates the fall damage from any height, so you can jump off anything and it just land in smoke, invisible. If you can't tell, Assassin is going to be for patient players, the kind who are comfortable letting a situation develop, reading a room before entering it, and knowing when to disappear rather than fight. If you've ever played a stealth game and felt genuinely satisfied just ghosting around through a section without being seen, this is that energy in the shooter. This is the Skyrim Stealth Archer class for this game. I also think that it suits people who enjoy having a toolkit rather than just a gun. The smoke, the camo, the dive, they give you answers for different situations. But the catch is, it does take discipline. Like I said, it's for patient players. That moment that you panic and you start sprinting when you shouldn't, or you shoot when you don't need to, that's when the kit stops covering for you. There's been a lot of back and forth about if this class is going to be overpowered because of camo, or, you know, in solo queue, is everybody going to use Assassin? That remains to be seen. There does seem to be a direct counter to the Assassin class, and that's who we're going to talk about next. Now we have Recon, which is the intel runner. Like I said, if there's an assassin on the map, Recon is how you find them. This is another character that I'm super excited to play as. So first up, we're going to talk about Echo Pulse, and that opens your helmet up and releases sonar pulses that will reveal nearby hostiles, both AI and players. Then you can drop the tracker drone, which deploys a spider bot that crawls around, tracks enemies down, explodes on them, overheats them, and will deal tick damage. The passive traits are kind of what make Recon feel like a detective. Awareness is if a hostile runner pings you, you get a warning. You won't know the direction, just that somebody saw you, and if you finish someone off with a finisher, their whole crew will get pinged. So you get intel in both directions. It kind of reminds me of Wraith's little voice in the back of her head from Apex. It's not that it just pings where that person is who spotted you, but it lets you know that there's somebody out there that knows where you're at. Stalker Protocol is the other one. You break an enemy's shield and they will leave behind holographic footprints they can run, but you'll just follow them wherever they end up. Recon is for people who like knowing things, specifically knowing things other people don't. You want to figure out where someone is before you commit to doing anything. You want to call out positions, track rotations. This runner was made for you. I also think that it will pair really well with a squad that communicates, since all that intel is going to be going between the other two players. And if the team is listening, Recon can make the whole lobby feel just transparent. And like I said, it's the natural counter role against Assassin specifically. So if you suspect someone's hiding in smoke and you want to be the one to flush them out, this is how you do it. But unlike Assassin, I don't think that this class is passive. I think that the tracker drone, the finisher mechanics means you're hunting, not just watching from the back. Now we come to Vandal, which is more agile than the others. It feels like it's built around chaos and mobility. You get in, you cause damage, you get out. Overload reduces heat buildup from movement abilities. It will boost your speed and improve your weapon handling. It's essentially a mode that lets you go that little bit harder for a window of time. Disruptor transforms your arm into a cannon and fires a high-powered shot that can damage and knock back enemies. It's useful for clearing cover, like somebody hiding behind a box or something like that. You can also send someone flying off a rooftop. Microjets give you a double jump while airborne, but it comes at the cost of extra heat, and Power Slide gives you a supercharged slide ability, much further than normal, but that will also generate heat. The Blast Off cord that I mentioned earlier lives in this kit. The whole Vandal kit is basically about pushing heat management as hard as possible while staying mobile. Vandal is for players who want to be unpredictable. If you gravitate towards flanks, this is going to feel very natural for you. The double jump, the supercharged slide, knockback cannon, I mean, you're never really in one spot long enough for anyone to get a clean read on you. It's also going to reward creativity. The abilities have obvious uses, but if you combine them in ways that aren't spelled out for you, you can really do some unique things. It does ask you to understand the heat system more than most runners, but I think once that clicks, the movement options open up in a way that will genuinely feel expressive. This is probably the class for all the zoomers out there, you guys with your neurons firing at max speed. Next up we have Thief, and this one's different. While these other runners seem like they're here to win fights and get the advantage, Thief is literally there to take things. The ability Pickpocket Drone is a remote-controlled butterfly drone with a mechanical whip that can knock loot out of players and AI and collect it when it drops, and you can fly it around and ping enemies for your squad. The grapple shoots a dart from your forearm that unfolds into a propeller, I think, and can pull you to a better position or even out of a bad one. The X-ray visor lets you see containers through walls and check loot rarity before you even open them and highlight enemies in your line of sight. And the stats trait that it has, where the more your backpack fills up, the better your base grapple recharge and weapon handling and overall stats get. So Thief literally gets stronger as they loot, which is kind of crazy to think about. We have seen a core for it called Greed is Good, and that increases sprint speed and slide distance when your pack is full. Hit and Run means if you grapple in and hit someone with a melee immediately after, it hacks them and knocks random loot out of their bag. Partner in Crime makes your drone passively ping nearby enemies while it's parked. There's a lot going on with this class. It's a very unique playstyle. Thief kind of seems like it's made for the player who wants to treat extraction runs like a puzzle rather than just a combat challenge. And it also seems like it could be the class that kind of just ruins somebody else's day. You're just knocking loot out of them. Thief almost seems like the troll class, honestly. Now we're coming to Triage, which is the support shell. If you want to keep your team alive, this is the runner for you. Capacitive gauntlets overcharge and send out these little tendrils. They shock downed allies back to life and can also damage enemies. Your revive mechanic is also a weapon. The medic drone is the little buddy with the cute little face that hovers around you and your allies, providing health and shields. It's very cute and also very useful. Battery overcharge makes your weapons hit harder, and specifically, battery weapons can EMP enemies when you break their shields. Shareware copies any consumable or heal you use to your allies who have your drones attached. So you heal yourself, they're gonna get healed too. We've also seen a couple cores for them. No Good Deed gives you a burst of healing when your drone attaches to a crew member, which means supporting your team will actively heal you back. Samaritan reduces your next drone cooldown when you share consumables. High Voltage shortens your battery overcharge cooldown when you take out enemies you've EMP'd. Triage really is for players who genuinely enjoy that support role. And I mean genuinely, because this runner doesn't really work if you're only half committed to the playstyle. If you get more satisfaction from keeping a squad mate alive through a chaotic fight than from getting the actual kill yourself, this is the most purpose-built version of that in this game. The gameplay loop of this actually really makes me excited to try out Triage. I almost think that they're going to be necessary, like you're going to have one squad mate dedicated to this class. And I honestly think, and I might get flack for this, that this is probably the highest skill expression runner in a squad, just like the different abilities that it has and what you can do for your team and to the enemies. I think Triage is going to be a lot of fun. Finally, we come to Rook, and Rook is a weird one, but I mean that in the best way. Rook is the scavenger frame. The whole goal is loot extraction, you know, get your vault full for future runs on characters that you actually main. But the twist with Rook is it automatically drops you into a game that's in progress, solo, no gear from the outside. You start with a set kit. The one ability that it has is Blend, which activates a mask, and the AI thinks that you're one of them, so you can walk through UESC forces, sneak through contested areas, get loot out without firing a shot if you play it right. But what makes Rook interesting for everyone else in the lobby is the tension that you bring. You've already dealt with a couple of crews, you think you know the state of the map, and then there might be a Rook somewhere that dropped in mid-match that you just never accounted for. You don't know that they're there. They also don't know how much of the lobby is left. There's this asymmetric pressure that just kind of sits in the environment the whole time that this is happening. Bungie has already leaned into the will you just kill a Rook off rip or will you help them out? Personally, I don't know if I can trust anyone. Rook will suit players who like high stakes solo play and who are comfortable operating with, you know, like little to no information because you drop in with no prep, you don't know how many people are left, your one tool is really just you staying unnoticed from the AI. I think that some people will think that that sounds stressful in a bad way and will skip it, but I think that it's super interesting and a good challenge. I think once people realize what they can use Rook for, it's going to be a favorite. It's also a great way to learn the map without feeling responsible for a squad or losing anything. There's something really freeing about having nothing to lose, but also having everything to gain. So yeah, 7 runners, all doing genuinely different things on top of the build crafting system that will allow you to push them in a direction that suits how you want to play. The pieces, in my opinion, are designed to combine, not in a here are the correct combination ways, but more like here are interesting ingredients, figure out what you like. Rook aside, every runner can be brought into a full squad. Destroyer holds the line and pushes it. Destroyer holds the line and pushes it. Assassin disappears into smoke and pops up in the flank. Recon tracks everyone down. Vandal causes chaos. Thief takes literally everything. Triage keeps everyone alive. They all fit together and can combine to make very interesting combinations. Anyway, that's the overview. I will probably go deeper on individual runners and specific builds in future videos. If there's a runner that you want me to start with, let me know in the comments down below. Like I said at the beginning, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. It greatly helps me out. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. I'm trying to hit 25,000 subs this year. Hype the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace!